This is the Oral-B geniusx, an electric toothbrush with artificial intelligence. I've been putting it through its paces and I'm here to give you my opinions on it. So at the time of recording, the Oral-B geniusx is the flagship electric toothbrush from Oral-B. There are lots of features that this toothbrush offers, and I'm going to try and cover the most important in this review and let you know what I really think. But to sum everything up, I'm going to give you my verdict now. The Oral-B geniusx is an excellent electric toothbrush. Make no qualms about it. It cleans the teeth really well. It has all of the essential features that I would like to see in an electric toothbrush, plus many additional features that can enhance the experience and allow you to take better care of your oral health. Now that said, I don't think the geniusx is perfect. This is essentially an upgrade on the Genius 9000, and I would have liked to seen some enhancements that aren't here in the geniusx. But I'll be honest, I'm probably being a bit picky. Overall, it's an electric toothbrush that cleans to a very high standard, and I don't think you'll be disappointed if you want a feature-rich, Bluetooth-enabled toothbrush. But I must stress, you don't need a brush this fully featured. Something like the Oral-B Pro 2 2500 is enough for most people and is a lot cheaper. There are also some other smart toothbrushes in Oral-B's range, such as the Smart 5000, which may also tick a lot of boxes for you and come in at a more cost-effective price. But the geniusx is still fantastic. So let's dig into some of these details a bit more. I apologise now, this is probably going to be quite a long video, but if you stick with it, you'll learn everything you need to know about this electric toothbrush. So some of the key kind of pros, if you like, to this brush are the cleaning action, the AI technology and the Bluetooth application. We have the built-in timer and pacer, we have a pressure sensor, and also the design of it is quite good as well. Some of the main cons I have with it are the box contents, the travel case that comes supplied, the cleaning mode icons, and the Bluetooth technology as well. So there's not really a particular order. I'm going to go through all of these features, but as you can see, this is the geniusx 20000. Now the geniusx comes in a few different variants, and at the time of recording you have the standard geniusx and the luxe variant. Now depending on which model you opt for, depends not only on the price, it also depends on the colour option. At the time of recording, you can get a rose gold geniusx in both the standard and luxe model. You can get a black coloured variant of the brush in the standard model only, and an anthracite grey in the luxe variant. Now the key differences between the standard and luxe variant is that the luxe variant comes with 4 brush heads in the box as opposed to 1. The travel case that comes surprise with the luxe variant also has a pattern printed on it to make it stand out and differentiate itself. Now the recommended retail price of the standard variant is $339.99 and the luxe variant $359.99. I'll come on to that price in a bit more detail shortly. Now essentially the geniusx is a small upgrade on the Genius 9000 that was launched in 2016. And it's designed to essentially enhance the Genius 9000 and be a bit better. Now, the Genius 9000 had something called position detection technology, which what it would do is track the position of the toothbrush in your mouth, and it would try and educate you on how well you're cleaning based on the position of your toothbrush during that clean. Now, in order to do that, it needed to use the front-facing camera on your smartphone. And you needed to have an app on your smartphone, and you needed to mount your smartphone in a special holder that came included in the box. Now, where the geniusx really differs is Oral-B are doing away with the need for the front-facing camera and that smartphone holder. Now the toothbrush handle itself actually has the sensors built in to determine the position of the brush in your mouth. Now, I'll admit the Genius 9000 system worked, but it was a little bit clunky, and using the geniusx is much easier. It shaves a bit of time off each time you want to use it. It's a bit more intuitive and just generally less hassle. Now, I've got a separate video that covers the differences between the Genius 9000 and the geniusx, but aesthetically they're almost identical. The Genius 9000 does come in a few different color options, but you know, other than that, there's not a lot between them other than the technology with the tracking that I've mentioned. Now, the geniusx is quite a busy toothbrush. There's a lot going on. You've got a power button, a cleaning mode button. You've got several icons that run down the handle. You've got a battery status icon, and you've got a large rubber grip on the back here. Now, that grip does make it nice and easy to hold in hand. It doesn't slip out the hand when wet. Something I do want to sort of shout out to Oral-B about is the fact that they've now introduced color matched brush heads. Now, what that means is they've introduced black coloured brush heads where they didn't previously have that when the Genius 9000 launched. So you now have a black brush head to match the black brush handle of your toothbrush, or a white brush head to match the white coloured handle of your toothbrush. It's just a nice design quirk. Although one catch, and I don't understand why, is the charging stand provided with the black coloured electric toothbrush is, you guessed it, white. Why couldn't they just make it black? Makes sense, right? So the power button on the front here turns the toothbrush on and off. There's no automatic power off function here. The cleaning mode button allows you to cycle between the 6 cleaning modes that are available on this brush. You've got a clean, white, deep clean, gum health, sensitive and tongue cleaning modes. You can only cycle through those modes when the toothbrush is switched on. You can't change the mode prior to turning the brush on. You can change the modes as much as you like once the toothbrush is on, and if you complete a full cleaning cycle, the toothbrush will automatically restart in the last mode that you had selected. Now, a little bugbear of mine is that despite the 6 cleaning modes, on the front of the brush handle there's only 5 icons. Why? I don't really know. The icon for the daily clean mode isn't there. I guess it's because it's the default mode and these icons represent the premium cleaning modes. You don't need necessarily these premium or additional cleaning modes, but they can be useful, particularly sort of the sensitive mode or the gum health mode. They're a little bit slower and more gentle on the teeth and gums. So I would like to see that 6th icon appear. I would also like to see Oral-B ditch the icons. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh there, but it can be quite hard to know what each icon means. You kind of got to remember, right, okay, the diamond means whitening, whereas someone like Philips Sonicare actually just write whitening. Now, all the icons are backlit when the brush is switched on, but you know, that's just my 2 cents on it there. You'll see at the top of the brush handle it's got this coloured, well, it's a white sort of translucent ring. This is called the LED Smart Ring and can be customized one of 12 colours. You can set that from the application to a colour of your kind of choice from those 12 colours. This also lights up red, and that's when the pressure sensor is activated. I'll come back to that in just a moment. So the Oral-B brush uses these small round oscillating rotating brush heads, which is generally the best cleaning technology. You've got a range of different brush heads available. I've got the cross-action brush head here on this variant. Some variants come with the Sensi ultra thin brush heads, but there are a wider range of brush heads that do all fit this toothbrush handle. They simply pull off and push on, nice and simple. So the cleaning sensation from this small round brush head is excellent. The small round brush head allows you to move all around the teeth and gums with a lot of ease, in my opinion. Now, the different modes last for a different amount of time and actually use different amounts of power from the built-in motor. What you've got to understand is that with an electric toothbrush, the cleaning approach is slightly different to a manual toothbrush. Make sure you familiarise yourself on how to use an electric toothbrush properly so you can maximise the cleaning efficiency that you get. But in any mode, it's going to give you a good clean to the teeth and gums. So when you're brushing, if you brush with too much force, the LED Smart Ring will light up red. The brush motor will also slow down and the pulsations of the brush head will stop. This is to avoid you doing any damage to the teeth and gums. If the pressure is relieved, the pressure sensor will be deactivated and full power will be restored. Now, during any cleaning cycle, you have two elements to the electric toothbrush that kick in, a timer and a quad pacer. Oral-B actually refer to the quad pacer as a professional timer. Now, what this means is that the 2-minute timer, 2 minutes is the dentist recommended cleaning time for most people brushing their teeth unless you have specific dental issues. The timer kicks in and it's your cue essentially to brush for those 2 minutes, and at the end of the 2 minutes, a pause in the brush head motion causes a change in the sound, a change in the brushing sensation, and you'll also see the LED smart ring flash, and that's your cue that the cleaning is over. But you also have the quad pacer that kicks in at 30-second intervals. And this is a bit of a game changer because it's all very well brushing your teeth for 2 minutes, but it's no good if you focus just on the front teeth. You want to brush all the teeth evenly. And the best way to do that is to break your mouth up into essentially 4 quadrants. You've got the upper right, upper left, lower right. You spend 30 seconds cleaning each section and you should have a pretty even clean to your teeth and gums. And that quad pacer acts as the alert to you to change section. So as the toothbrush powers on, it starts counting that timer, and at 30-second intervals, it alerts you via a pause in the brush head, causes a change in the brushing sensation and sound, and the pressure sensor or LED smart ring also flashes as well to alert you. Now I should mention in relation to the timer and that quad pacer element, that's actually disabled if you're using the smartphone app. And the reason it is disabled is because you'll see on screen the timer and a visual indicator as to which part of the mouth you should be cleaning. I wish it didn't disable it because I still think it's a handy feature even if you've got the app right in front of you, but you should be aware that it's disabled. Now, I suppose I should touch on that app and the artificial intelligence that the geniusx has a little bit more. Now, it is an evolution from previous Bluetooth-enabled toothbrushes. So it's using sensors in the toothbrush to locate the position of the toothbrush in relation to your teeth. And the AI information, or the intelligence and all the data it gathers, is used and compared to the bank of information that Oral-B already have on file. And it kind of learns your brushing style. And over a couple of weeks, it adjusts the information and tracks your cleaning. And basically what you see when you're using the app in real time is a set of blue teeth on screen. And as you brush these teeth over the elapsed 2 minutes, the teeth turn from blue to white. But at the end of the cleaning, any areas that you haven't cleaned properly will remain blue. It might be a faded blue, and then you get a rating. And Oral-B rank out how much coverage, so whether you've got 100% or not, or less, how long you've brushed for, whether you've brushed with too much pressure as well. And all of this data is logged within the application. And the idea is to make you better at brushing your teeth. Now, it's preferred if you can use the smartphone app in real time, but you don't have to. The toothbrush handle itself will save the data for 30 cleaning sessions, and that'll sync back up to the application when you actually use it next, and it logs it all in there so that you can actually review it. I actually think the application has been implemented fairly well. I certainly learned that the app was learning how I brushed. I'm not going to say the position technology is excellent. I don't think any electric toothbrush with these position detection is perfect. I think Oral-B struggled at times. Sometimes it was really quite out or it was a bit laggy. Other times it was really good. I tried to be consistent and I did achieve 100% coverage. Not perhaps as many times as I would really like. I think that's part of the learning process. Certainly in the first few days, I seemed to be getting around the 80% coverage, but after a couple of weeks, I was up nearer that 100% more consistently. I think the average user is generally going to find they have to brush for a little over 2 minutes to get that complete 100% coverage, but that's not a big issue if it ends up that you're taking better care of your oral health. Within the app are a whole host of features, sort of customizable journeys to help you achieve specific goals, such as taking better care of your gums, trying to whiten your teeth. You can put a brush head reminder in there, so it alerts you when it's time to change your brush head. You can get reminders for flossing using mouthwash, and things like that. And you can even sync the data to the Oral-B cloud should you ever change mobile phones or what have you. You've got a backup of that data, and it's a good review. And over the weeks, months and years, you could actually see how frequently you're brushing, what your average brushing time is, and whether your oral health has improved as a result. Now, I mentioned there that the app can record when it's time to change the brush head. These blue bristles on the brush head do fade over a typical 3-month period to alert you that it's time to change your brush head. You should typically replace your brush head every 3 months because using it longer than this can potentially cause damage to your teeth and gums. You should replace it sooner if the bristles are obviously worn, frayed or split or damaged in any other way. Now, the geniusx comes with a premium travel case which allows you to hold the toothbrush and up to 2 brush heads in the box. One of the unique features about this travel case is that it actually allows you to charge the toothbrush in the case. This is a good thing because if the battery runs out of power, you can top it up. Unfortunately, the way this is implemented is far from ideal, and I thought Oral-B might have improved this on the geniusx because they're using the same approach as they did with the Genius 9000 that came before it. Basically, in the box you get supplied with a proprietary power adapter which connects to a 2-pin shaver socket. That in turn connects to this little connector on the base of the travel case. You need that proprietary mains power adapter to charge the geniusx in the case. This does have a USB port on the case, but this USB port does not allow you to charge the toothbrush in the case. This port is for connecting things like your smartphone to, so you can charge your smartphone at the same time as you're charging the toothbrush in the case. I just wish you could use USB. It would mean not having to take that big power adapter with you, and it would be much more convenient, certainly on an international basis. Now, in fairness, that power adapter that comes with the travel case supports 100 to 240 volts, but you do need a plug adapter if you're going to use it in other countries outside of the UK. Now, built into the toothbrush handle is a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that gives you approximately 16 days of usage from it. It's fixed inside, you can't remove it. You can't remove it because that helps keep the toothbrush sealed because this is a water-resistant toothbrush. Now, to charge it, you can use the supplied travel case or you can sit it on the charging stand. So that has a prong on it which fits into the base of the toothbrush for charging. It takes about 12 hours to fully charge the toothbrush. That charging stand connects to the 2-pin shaver socket available in UK bathrooms. If you don't have that shaver socket in your bathroom, don't worry, you can buy an adapter to allow you to connect it to a 3-pin socket here in the UK. The charging stand itself works on 220 to 240 volts, so if you were travelling internationally and you want to take the charging stand, you would need a voltage adapter. The battery does give a little bit of feedback to you. You've got 3 bars on the front here, and it also flashes red when the battery is low. It will flash when it's on the charging stand. If the battery is completely flat, it may take at least 30 minutes for it to charge enough for the lights to come back on. When the toothbrush is fully charged on the stand, the lights will go out. It is perfectly safe to leave this toothbrush on the charging stand at all times. It has technology built into it that cuts out the charge when it's fully charged. So that's a good thing to note. Now, with the geniusx essentially being a replacement to the Genius 9000 that came before it, I can't help but compare it a little bit. And in the box with the Genius 9000, you got a brush head storage compartment which allowed you to hold up to 4 brush heads. I thought this was quite a handy accessory, and it doesn't come supplied with the geniusx. You can buy it as a separate accessory. Now, although it's not needed with the geniusx, obviously the Genius 9000 came with a smartphone holder. It was a suction cup affair, but it would be quite nice if the geniusx came with some sort of smartphone holder, even if it's one that just sits on your countertop, because at the moment you actually have to hold it in your hand to sort of see what's going on screen at the same time. It's workable and there's not a massive issue with it. I'm probably being a bit picky, but bearing in mind the price point of the geniusx is higher than the 9000, I do feel Oral-B have scrimped a little bit there, and they could have given away those extra accessories. So I've used the Genius 9000 that came before this geniusx for in excess of 3 years now, and it's still proving really strong and reliable. Nothing's gone wrong with it. The geniusx as standard comes with a 2-year warranty. Register it online and you can get a 3rd year free, which is really good in my opinion. It's nice to have that added extra feature, but the Genius models are made to a high standard. I don't think you're going to find that it will fail. Obviously, being an electronic product, there's always the potential of that, but you've got that 3-year warranty to fall back on if you need it. Now let's talk a little bit about the price of the geniusx. So the standard variant has a retail price of $339.99 and the luxe variant $359.99. So there's about £20 in it there, and you get a little bit extra in the box, notably the extra brush heads. Now in reality, Oral-B electric toothbrushes generally sell for about 50% less than their retail price, and I personally bought the geniusx at the time it launched, and I was able to get it at that discounted price. And at the time of purchase, the standard model came in at £165 and the luxe variant at £169. Now that's obviously a much better price than the retail price, because although the geniusx is a very good electric toothbrush, I would never recommend anyone go and spend over £300 on an electric toothbrush. It's simply not required. Now even at around £160 for the geniusx, it's still an expensive toothbrush, and a toothbrush of around about £30 to £50 would serve you very well. But of course you're getting a lot more with the geniusx, notably the AI and the app and the premium travel case. I think as the months go on, so I'm recording this a few weeks after the geniusx launched in July 2019, the price will probably drop a little bit, maybe another £10 or £20. We certainly saw that with the Genius 9000 before it. And the Genius 9000 that is now 3 years old is generally retailing for around about £135, although at particular times of the year it can be picked up for about £99. Now I don't know how that's going to transition ongoing as the geniusx settles in terms of pricing, but I do think the geniusx is probably worth a little bit more than the Genius 9000 based on the convenience of using it on a daily basis with that app. That said, if the Genius 9000 is still available at £99 or less, or really anything over than a £20 or £30 difference, you should really consider the Genius 9000, because there aren't significant differences that necessarily make the geniusx the better buy. Now, one of the things we like to do here at electricteeth is try and give a sort of benchmark in terms of pricing. And if you take the cost of owning the Oral-B geniusx luxe variant over a 3-year period, it's going to work out about 18 pence per day. Now compare this to the very capable Oral-B Pro 22500 that comes in at 7 pence per day, and you can see that you're paying quite a premium. But that 18 pence a day is a lot less than the 37 odd pence of Sonicare's Diamond Clean Smart, which is probably the most comparable toothbrush to the geniusx. So all things considered, for a smart, capable electric toothbrush, the geniusx is pretty well priced, and that's thanks in part to Oral-B selling their toothbrushes at about 50% discount on the recommended retail price. So I think that pretty much covers everything with the geniusx. I may have missed something out, but there is a full written review that accompanies this video and goes into lots of detail. As the verdict at the start of this review said, I really like the geniusx. There's a lot to like about it. It's an excellent toothbrush. It's certainly more than what most people need, but if you want the best Oral-B electric toothbrush at this time and you're willing to pay for it, you want smart features, then the geniusx is it. It's not perfect, but boy, I'm picking in those imperfections really. There's no reason why I won't be switching to the geniusx as my next electric toothbrush. I really do like it, and I'm sure you will too. So if you've got any comments or questions, leave them below. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up. For more videos like this, click subscribe. But until next time, thanks for watching.